What are teens today not ready to hear? Things will likely take significantly longer to achieve than you think. And getting good at stuff will take time. Sometimes lots of time. And sometimes, you'll spend lots of time on something, and you still won't get good at it. That's the human experience. Some things you struggle with will come very easily to others, but some things they struggle with will come very easily to you. Don't be mad that someone possesses skills you don't, and don't be a jerk for possessing skills that many other people don't. As you get older, you just keep realizing how dumb you were last year. Every day I realize how stupid I was the day before. I actually like this because it means I'm always improving. The older you get, the faster it goes. Yesterday, I was you. Tomorrow, you'll be me. One day you'll wake up and wonder where that plenty of time to do X went. It will scare the crap out of you. In the adult world, getting into fights doesn't make you look cool, it just makes you look stupid. And one wrong fight can leave you brain damaged or on trial for manslaughter. Putting every aspect of yourself online is unsafe. Nobody needs to know your list of triggers or your address or your blood type. Some Twitter bios are long enough to be in a Star Wars intro. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's new. I majored in literature in college, I teach now, and I remember 18 to 20-year-old me being fascinated by how human nature stayed the same from hundreds of years ago. At that age, I couldn't fathom that those old people actually made sex jokes or had certain technologies. Reading across the ages really made me wiser and hip to the fact that humans are basically all the same, we just have different settings we grow up in. Same thing across country/cultural lines. I remember when I traveled to India and the culture shock was super jarring, felt like I had teleported to a different universe. Then when we were driving around Agra, I saw a group of teenage boys cracking up and pointing. Those fuckers had drawn the most glorious, veiniest dick that I had ever seen on the wall in chalk. Doesn't matter if you live in India, Germany, Egypt or Argentina, everyone draws and laughs at dicks, lol. The great unifier. Being controversial isn't the same as being interesting. Those are probably not friends for life, okay, slim chances for some. This hits hard. Too hard. I lost contact with most of my school friends by now. I am only 30. One day you too will be old and uncool. And it'll happen faster than you think. I used to be with it, then they changed what it was and what is now. It is weird and scary. It will happen to you. Abe Simpson, more or less. Condoms are for STDs too, even though there are other ways to avoid pregnancy. Playing music on your speakers in public areas makes you look like a complete douchebag. Nobody likes it but you. The same applies to watching YouTube or TikTok in public spaces. Just get headphones. You're closer to being the older person in any given setting than you think. And by old I mean like 30. Got nieces and nephews just starting kindergarten. Haha. Blink, and they're starting college. Agreed. We're having my mother's memorial this coming weekend and it keeps striking me as bizarre that we are now the adults. We went from 15 to 45 in the blink of an eye, it seems. Not everybody can be an internet sensation, somebody has to drive the dump truck. And sanitation is a pretty solid business, too. Yeah, don't believe the guidance counselor saying you have to go to college and then saying something like you don't want to be a garbage man/plumber, do you? The garbage man and the plumber make bank with no student loan debt. We adults are mostly just winging it, hopefully learning from the tons of mistakes we make, but still winging it. I have no idea where I read it, but I once read a lady talking about her childhood and she said something like, I didn't realize when I was little that I was witnessing my parents grow up. It stuck with me both as a parent and as daughter. It is perfectly fine to not know something. It's okay to not know. Stop shaming and bullying people because you learned about something before they did. Social media is not the real world, and acting like it is will only make people not want to be around you. Social media is not reality, and your entire life should not revolve around it. I know some adults that need to hear this too. You didn't invent that style. My high school-age daughter and her entire school look just like my high school did in the mid-90s. They are even listening to the same music. A girl walked past me today in colored, baggy, mid/high-rise jeans, and I was like, 1993. Is that you? Please shower. Today's eyebrows are yesterday's clown makeup and tomorrow's regret fodder. Stop self-diagnosing yourselves with mental illnesses. As a therapist, I second this comment. TikTok is not a valid source of diagnosis. Also, mental illness isn't fun. It isn't sexy. And it isn't like it is on TV. It's awful, and pray you never have to deal with it personally or in your loved ones. The price of rent and housing they will have to deal with in a few years. Everything you do as a teenager will be cringe to your children. Everything I did as a teenager is cringe to me, tbh. You know nothing and it's okay. Drugs ain't a game. Just because you fucked up does not mean you're a fuck up. Early successes at this stage in your life won't necessarily give you an advantage later, but early failures will likely hold you back significantly. Basically, getting straight A's in high school will leave you closer to the mean than failing a number of classes. To add to this, please, for the love of all that is good in the world, do not get caught up in the legal system or get in trouble with the law. If you're in the US, having a criminal record absolutely will ruin your life. Especially if it's a felony. Stay away from drugs, don't drink until you're old enough, and stop doing stupid shit. Focus on school, work, and hobbies. I know it sounds cliché, and even a little lame, but take it from someone who prioritized partying at your age and is now struggling to find work because nobody hires felons. I wish I could go back and stay away from that crowd. That heartache you're going through. It consumes everything now, but it will be nothing but a footnote in the future. You'll rarely think about it later, and when you do, it won't hurt you. It's hard to hear that your pain isn't the worst in the world when you're feeling it. But it does help to know that it won't mean as much as it does in this moment. As a 35-year-old I can say this, your social life in high school is meaningless. You suck? Doesn't matter. You're popular? Doesn't matter. You will meet new people anyway. You will be 20 and still be an empty sheet of paper. Heck, you can start over with 30, probably with 40 and 50 again, and every age in between. You need to learn the difference between normal teenage neuroses and mental illness. You guys know how the attractive and wealthy kids at school seem to just get life handed to them on a silver platter. Get used to it. As much as you want to be unique, outspoken and be able to be you 100%, it's just not that realistic. As a queer puck millennial, it took me a long time to learn that you gotta learn to pick your battles, read the room, and know that not every space is a space that's made for you. You won't feel different when you're older, or have kids. You'll just be you. It's weird. Life as a continued experience is weird. When I was much younger I would always think about all the ways I'd be different when I was older, but I'm still just me. Somewhat wiser and taller, but still the same me I've always been. It's strange, but I think I've enjoyed getting older and growing to know myself better. 10 years from now, no one will care about how many viewers you had on TikTok. Also, those 10 years are not a long time. It's tomorrow. It's not your duty to judge others. Just take care of your own shit. Someone somewhere cares about you deeply and loves to see you to be happy. This shit is so fucking true. I told one of my friends that I finally felt like I was at peace with life, and she told me that's something she wanted to hear from me and that she was proud. Their children will blame their generation for all their problems. There are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when decades happen. Social media will give you too much of a superiority complex, and hanging around people who enable you will fuck you up later in life. Jobs aren't meant to always be fun/your dream. Sometimes you have to work a job you hate to stay afloat. Likewise, turning a hobby into your job isn't always the best thing. It's okay to be a virgin at 18. Life lived mostly offline is really worthwhile. You're not supposed to create a safe space to isolate from everything that triggers you. You're supposed to expose yourself in controlled ways so you can improve your coping skills. Everything doesn't need to be normalized. You're not as important as you think you are. The world doesn't care about your feelings as much as you do. Vaping is bad for you. Everything in your life right now is a trial run. High school is meant to teach you how to learn, how to communicate, and how to deal with other people. That's it. High school doesn't last forever and it doesn't really mean anything. You most likely won't marry whoever you're dating right now. And that's okay. Most romantic relationships you have will probably fail because you are young and you are both learning how to communicate, and figuring out what you want/need in a relationship. Enjoy this time of awkward growth. It's the last time you'll be able to be a kid and not have to worry about adult issues, unless you're unlucky and were dealt a shit hand in life. Be humble, patient, and kind. I'm rooting for ya. What are teens today not ready to hear? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see more videos like this.